Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boosted Boilon back for another Saturday noob account video. And I think I mentioned this last time. Why won't this damn hashtag Thor go away? I swear it's only on this account. When I load up my other account, it has regular characters there. I have no idea why this glitch is present. It's just a bit of an OCD annoyance of me. Anyways, what we're here to talk about today, I'm level 87. I want to talk about my roster development. I want to talk about why you almost 90% only need to build raid teams. Yes, you heard that. I'm using them everywhere. A lot of people have been asking me, Boilon, what are you doing or what are you considering when it comes to things like Alliance War, when it comes to Cosmic Crucible? And let me tell you, the flat answer, the easy answer right now is that I'm building raid teams. So I want to go over exactly how my roster is being developed. Yes, I have run into a bit of a training mod crunch. I think this is going to happen, especially once you start bulldozing Dark Dimensions, because I have way more gold than I do have training mods. But nonetheless, I'm still building characters incrementally. It's just certain ones that I'm focusing on more than others. So if you want to know more, let's boil this down. Now let's really quickly, I want to recap where I'm at in the Dark Dimension progress. I am literally just about to clear Dark Dimension 4 for the second time. So this is my second time around. What characters did I end up bringing for the Legendary lane? These four. Morgan Le Fay, maybe I'll core this later. Anyways, Morgan Le Fay, Green Goblin Classic, Doc Ock, and Archangel. Now I did a video, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, I think, talking about Green Goblin Classic and the Black Cat Trials, but more specifically how I unlocked Green Goblin. And the Morgan Le Fay and Archangel I did like almost a month ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I think I talked about that in a previous video. So if you're interested, go check those ones out. These are the 4 characters that I recommend for Dark Dimension 4. As far as Dark Dimension 5 goes, I think I'm probably going to wait until I can do a 2-node D10 Black Cat run to unlock her, and then take her with me to Dark Dimension 5, unless that new legendary that's supposedly on the horizon, that comes out first, and I get him or her first, or whatever. So I haven't quite started Dark Dimension 5 yet, but I am in the gear tier 16 slowly range, and I have these 3 characters right now. I'm hoping to have Sunspot soon, and then just carry the beginning nodes with them. And it might end up being Kestrel as my 5th character, just because right now I'm having that teal uniques is a pretty big bottleneck. So whenever I get the chance to buy uniques that I think I need, now I'm not buying characters like, yeah, I'm going to need to upgrade She-Hulk eventually, but I'm only spending gold on the uniques that I know I need right now for the characters that I'm building. For whatever reason, I think it's the Cosmic Ghost Rider Strike Pass that I have a lot of augmented miasma, but the only characters that I may be bringing up are like these 2. So I don't think that I really need to buy it right now, because by the time I may need more, I'll have more later. So I'm being very specific in terms of what I'm buying. I'm not really buying any orange gear anymore. I'm well past that. I'm not branching out into my roster enough where I need to buy it out of the store. And I am still just doing Blitz Orbs and Raid Orbs, and occasionally buying direct purchases on certain characters like Icarus. Buying in the arena store Spider-Man Noir mostly right now because of Spider Society. Again, raid teams, very important. War Store Forge, Crucible Store Nightcrawler, again, raid characters, but also Extreme X-Men just became fireable, so that's a really big priority. And Red Star is just kind of looking out for certain characters that I am actively farming, or I have yellows for, basically. So no big deal there. So let's move into my roster, and then we're going to talk about PvP a little bit here. So what have I been doing? Well, I just recently unlocked Void Knight, thankfully, but not because of that Strike Pass. I opened from Dark Dimension 4 a Mega Orb, like right at the very end, as the Void Knight Strike Pass came out, and I landed 50 shards, which gave me the unlock to Void Knight. I guess with the Strike Pass, I might end up getting a 4-star, but it's just so annoying for me because I've been waiting. Void Knight was like the last raid character that I've been waiting to unlock outside of Spider Society and stuff, right? But like this is this is the last older raid character that I still had to unlock. So I finally did him. I took him up to gear tier 14, level 75, put some T4s. I put 1 T4 into his passive and 6. So that's helping me in my Doom raid. Also, I just do want to mention my alliance dipped our toe into Doom Raid 2. But because the requirement is blue 1 aka green 5. Everyone needs to be green 5, to get to blue 1. We managed about 30%. So we kind of went back to 1.1. We're going to spend a little bit more time grinding out our ISOs for more people to be ready before we really jump into Doom 2. And I do want to let people know that this is week 9, I think, of my account. So we're just a bit under 2 months worth of time, and I'm level 87, so making my way up towards level 90. Spider-Man Noir, these are all characters that I'm kind of working on right now. Of course, to get into blue 1, I need them to be at level 75. Right? Because that's when you can unlock blue ISO. So for some of my characters that aren't at 75 yet, I'm going to need to eventually bring them up there to use them in Doom 2, because I can't equip the blue ISOs until I actually have them at 75. Some of the characters I'm working on now, Peter B. Parker, is going to come probably after Ghost Spider, and Ghost Spider's done, actually. In blue ISO range. So once Spider-Man Noir is done, then I'm going to start working on leveling my other Pegasus characters up to 75 G14, so I can get the blue ISO on them, and then leveling up Peter B. Parker. Characters like Kang the Conqueror, the Leader, I don't know why they're still on my star list, but I'm not actively leveling them right now, and that's going to have to come down the line later at another time if I'm able to do that, right? Like, there's just not enough training modules to go around to broaden your roster that big. So I've primarily focused on raid characters. Almost every one of my upgrades are raid characters. Even the Eternals, who I have here on this list, are raid characters that I'm using in the Mystic raid team, because I'm using a hodgepodge until I don't want to level the full Bifrost team. I'm trying to do whatever I can to avoid actually doing that. And so I've been using characters like the 2 Eternals, Deathpool, Spider-Weaver, and Vol. That's who I've been raiding with, and we'll see how far I end up getting, if I can still do that in in Doom Raid 2. But that's currently what I'm doing right now. So all the characters you see at the top of my roster: Extreme X-Men, Pegasus, other than Black Knight, because he's Arena and he's just amazing everywhere. And in fact, I'm actually using him currently in the skill section of Doom Raid until I have Spider Society, level 75 G14 with blue ISO. So Black Knight's still actually performing fairly well. The only non-team that is not a raid team that I have leveled up is Sinister Six. And largely most of the investment is for Dark Dimension. So Doc Ock and Green Goblin, who you saw. That's my primary investment. I do have some other characters in here. I have 75 G14 on Mysterio. Vulture is here, and Craven's here. Like, they're not that high. They're like 60k. A lot of this is because I still don't have Stark Tech really that high. And I kind of stopped raising, for the moment, characters like New Avengers and even Secret Defenders for just now. So as you can see, like, the primary characters that I have really above this are characters that I've been either using in Dark Dimension, and I try to double dip as much as I possibly can with my raid characters. It's just, I cannot stress enough how much double and triple dipping I am getting with my raid characters. Pegasus is getting a lot of usage for other events. Extreme X-Men is number 1, hands down the best team, and they're farmable now, that you should be working on. Honestly, I'm getting so much value. I'm using the Extreme X-Men in my arena, in Dark Dimension, in raids, in PvP, like literally every single game mode, because they're really good for their team and what they're able to do. Like, I cannot stress that enough. So I think it's really important for newer players to really just focus their resources and hone in on raid teams. That's going to be going from, I guess, newest to oldest. I would just basically do, I wouldn't focus too heavily on Bifrost. I would focus on Vol and other Mystics, and then Pegasus, and then Extreme X-Men, Hive Mind, and then now lately Spider Society. But it's going to take about, I don't know what, 3 more weeks probably until the whole team is out and free to play available anyways. So you got some time there, which is why it's not huge on my priority list at this moment. But once I have that done, I'm going to pretty much have all of my raid teams equipped that I'm going to need going into the future. So that's going to be really big for me. And where you're going to get the most amount of resources on these kind of newer accounts, I think it's just very important to talk about, because if you want to make progression, whether it's naturally through what I'm doing with an alliance that are kind of all around the same level, or if you want to try to get into an alliance that does harder content, then you're going to need to make sure that your latest raid teams are leveled up, are geared up, and are ready to go. Now let's talk about Cosmic Crucible, because I don't really want to talk much about Alliance War. We'll do that towards the end. I got 3 wins on Cosmic Crucible. I am actually starting to play real people. They are actually trying. However, I want to show you, this is how I win my Crucible. Just this. That's it. Just one team. That's it. That's all. This is my Extreme X-Men and Black Knight. This is basically my arena team. I put them in the raid room, and all I am hoping is that I win once, because the rest of my teams are on offense, right? And as long as they lose one time, then I will win the match, assuming that I don't fuck up, or I can manage to beat them. That is basically what I have done. Now I want to go back through my trials and show you basically what happened in room 2. A lot of the times they just don't have a team big enough to beat it. Once, twice, or even more than that, right? Like here you can see, like, yeah. Are they huge punch-ups? Absolutely. But these are the kind of people that I'm going up against in Cosmic Crucible, where I am able to actually do this on a regular basis. This is trial number 2, I think, as well. And you can see here, they were not even able. Nobody has the team big enough, because they're mixing their defense and offense. They can't do this. They can't beat me, because they're kind of spreading their defense out. I am not. I don't care about my other teams. I just care about winning one time, or at least once, in room number 2, and that'll get me the win, right? Trial number 1, same thing. All hand teams except for here. They lost twice, so they exhausted my team twice, and my team was lower here at trial 1. Actually, I went up 120k between trial 1 and trial 3, or trial 1 and now, I guess. And so they were not able to clear that. Yes, they were huge punch-ups, but it just goes to show that all you need is one team for a new player to put on your defense that is really good, and that will probably win you the Crucible match, right? So when you start doing Crucibles on a weekly basis as a new player, this is personally what I recommend. Whatever that happens to be, that best team for you, I personally recommend Extreme X-Men, because I think they're the best team for new players at large right now, and they're farmable. And then Black Knight. Now, not every free-to-play player or new player is going to have Black Knight, especially if you missed that Strike Pass that was available. Then you may not have Black Knight unlocked. You could then just use the full 5-piece Extreme X-Men with Cyclops. That's what I would recommend at that point. If you do not have Black Knight, just throw in Cyclops. And as long as you can get some wins and the rest of your teams are on offense, then you should be good to go. Now, with Alliance War, I am not building Alliance War characters, like, at all. 0. Why? Because Alliance War is just flat garbage for new alliances. You're going to be fighting... we fought nothing but shield teams the last 2 months. Not even joking. Because we're climbing. We're in gold now, I think. You know, but we've basically been fighting shield teams every single match. So until this evens out, and I don't know how many months it's going to take for the ELO or the trophies or whatever you want to call it, you know, the matchmaking to balance itself out, where we actually, like, where we need to do something. Like, there's just no point in investing into war characters unless you're using them elsewhere. So I think that's something worth noting, that Alliance War is basically a non-issue for a lot of new players. Cosmic Crucible, however, I would soft consider it, but don't build for Cosmic Crucible. Don't build Cabal right now for new player accounts. Yes, I'm using Cabal on my main account, but these are not characters that you want to spend resources deviating to, because I'm telling you that raid teams are basically the most important thing that new players can start building, and they're good. Raid teams are good now. Extreme X-Men, or even Pegasus, are good. Pegasus, Extreme X-Men, Hive Mind, Spider Society, these are all good teams that you're going to be able to double dip or triple dip in various different places, PvP game modes and whatnot, and you're going to do just fine because of the power creep, because they're just that good. So I really wanted to just put out there, make that recommendation, drive that point home. If it wasn't clear already, just build your raid teams. Honestly, it's going to take some time to balance it out. You know, make sure you ISO farm all of your raid team characters, because you're going to need to do that to enter a Doom Raid, whether that's Doom Raid 1 or anything above that. You're going to need to have them at a green ISO 4 or 5 or whatever. Make sure you're doing that one at a time, and you're eventually going to grind and get there and get them all up ready to go. And then you can be a good member of your alliance, contributing in what is the most important game mode in Marvel Strike Force, which is raids, because that's where a lot of your daily resources is going to come from, more than some of these other game modes. So that's the end of this video. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if there's a topic that you would like me to touch on in the future for the noob account videos. Also, do check out my Discord server. There's tons of places for noob accounts, and also video suggestions as well that you can make there if you want to kind of join in the conversation about these lower level accounts and the lower level gameplay. So that's going to be it for now, and until next time, stay safe and healthy. I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.